Hello all, we are back with our third video. Hope you saw the previous two videos on our YouTube channel, especially those were the two most important teams for us, right? India and Pakistan. And hope you liked the video. Please do share your comments. Please do let us know what you felt, and we would be glad to bring up the points you shared in our subsequent videos as well that we plan to do. So today we will be covering Australia, the host for the tournament and also the defending champions. What we've seen with Australia previously is Australia in ODI World Cups is a total goat, right? They have won 5 ODI World Cups. They have won even a hat trick of ODI World Cups from 1999 to 2007. However, they took time to crack the T20 World Cup code. After all these years, from the conception in 2007, they finally managed to win a T20 World Cup in 2021. So it took them 14 years to crack that, and that's how they became the defending world champions last year after their win in the UAE. So let's analyze their squad for this time, and we'll surely come up with our playing 11 as well, and then let's see if they're able to defend their crown from last year. So bringing up the squad for Australia.
So yeah, Australia is playing a World Cup in the home conditions, which again is a major advantage. And uh, I remember the 2015 World Cup in Australia, wherein it was again home conditions and they felt zero pressure. So pressure is not a problem for Australia. They handle it very well. In fact, they thrive in pressure. So going over the squad, if you see the batsmen, lesser in number because they've really invested more in the all-rounders part, which we'll discuss later. So in the batsmen, we have the captain Aaron Finch and David Warner, who will be the assigned openers. So Finch has a bit of an issue going on with his form, which is not very consistent. But as a leader, he's been doing very well and leading the team very well. So it's like one of those cases where the team is carrying the captain, and hopefully he'll come good very soon someday. So that's him. And then the next one is Steve Smith. So now the problem that Australia have right now is they have Finch and Steve Smith both, who are pretty similar in terms of being anchors, and they don't really play at the strike rate of your 150, 160, which is required for T20 nowadays. So I don't expect both of them to be playing. I'll expect one to be playing, and obviously
Yeah.
since Finch is the captain, Finch will be starting. Tim David is the new addition who just got zoomed into the team without any matches really in the county circuit. So he's a T20 veteran, and even I hadn't heard of this guy until Mumbai Indians bought him for a whopping 8 crores. I remember. So that grabbed eyeballs, and then I checked out his videos on YouTube, and he's been like a journeyman, right? He's played in all kinds of T20 leagues and performed very well. He's this like brute of a batsman who just clobbers the ball. So there's not much footwork, but his strength is immense. So a brilliant addition, and Australia really sees quality, right? They just got him into the side and slot him at six, and you can see the results in the matches they played against England and the warm-ups. You can see his batting and the specialization that he brings. And to top it off, it's Matthew Wade as a wicket keeper. He has been in golden form. I still remember against Pakistan in the semis. I didn't expect them to pull it off, but then the way he attacked Shaheen Shah Afridi was incredible. And he's been in that form since then. And lately, if you remember Bhuvneshwar Kumar in the 19th over, he clobbered him as well. So he's a brilliant number seven, a good keeper, and a solid finisher. So no complaints on the batting. It lacks a bit of balance in terms of the hitting power, but we'll see what that'll be covered in the all-rounders, which we'll come to later. So in the seamers, yeah. So Jay, your favorite is there, Michelle Stark. So yeah, let's start with
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I think what we saw in the previous two videos was in India and Pakistan, there was one clear strong suit for both teams and one the slightly weaker suit, right? Whereas with Australia, you can say both are equally balanced. They have a powerful batting lineup as well and a powerful bowling lineup as well. And again, in the seamers, they have a lot of quality, right? Mitchell Stark's, left arm angle at pace, those Yorkers are sometimes unplayable, right?
Yes.
Whenever you think of Michelle Stark, you think of that unplayable Yorker he bowled to Ben Stokes in the 2019 ODI World Cup, right? So he has those unplayable balls. At times he can get a bit erratic with his line and length, and that's when he becomes expensive. But he's surely the spearhead of the attack, and Australia will look forward to him to pick up wickets with the new ball, right? Pat Cummins, a leader on the field and with the ball as well, very consistent, right? You will see him hitting those back of the length balls consistently. He'll try to work out the batsman over a period of time, and he's a very resourceful bowler at high pace again. Josh Hazelwood has had a resurrection in T20s, right?
Yeah.
Ideally, Josh Hazelwood earlier was a typical test match bowler, right? Nice bowling it outside the off stump, or on the off stump and trying to nibble it away, right? To get a
Back of the
nick in the
length, and
slips, right?
yeah, back
Right.
of the length and all. Yeah.
Exactly. But now he's redefined himself. Even when you see him playing in the IPL for RCB, he tries to, bowl short now. He tries to bowl slower balls. He tries to bring in the odd Yorker. So he's brought in a lot of variation in his bowling, which is admirable, which makes him, a more complete bowler for T20s now. Kane Richardson plays in leagues around the world. So you primarily see him more in the T20 format rather than Tests and ODIs.
Mm,
And again, he's a very
mhm.
skillful bowler, right? We see him bowling a lot in the death. Again, has a good variation of Yorkers, the quicker balls, cutters as well. And he has a
Yeah.
lot of experience in Australian conditions, right? He plays the BBL a lot as well. Maybe Stark, Cummins, and Hazelwood don't play the BBL a lot due to their international commitments, but you always see Richardson playing a lot there. So he has a good idea of playing T20s in Australia. So that will work in his favor. Spinners, if we come to Adam Zampa, I think along with Chehel, is a
Mhm.
primary leg spinner in the world, right?
Yeah.
And the thing with Zampa is his heart, right? He might get clobbered for two sixes, but he will still flight the ball up. So he's not afraid to get hit, and that is where he lulls the batsman into thinking that I can go for one more shot, and the batsman ends up skewing it up high in the air and getting caught in the outfield. So Zampa is a very resourceful bowler, varies his pace as well, uses the crease well as well while bowling, right? So
Mhm.
Zampa is somebody whom I feel with the huge boundaries in Australia, he will pick a lot of wickets in this edition. I really see him being in the top five wicket takers in this tournament. And Ashton Agar is also a good addition in the squad, brings in that left arm spin angle, and is a useful lower order bat as well. So seamers and spinners, I see Australia being well stocked here, and they have a lot of options to choose from.
So coming to the all-rounders, that's I think the engine room of this Australian team because as I mentioned, the strike rates might not be that high in the batsmen except Warner and David. But if you come to the all-rounders, all of them are like T20, like to be legends or legends already because they operate at such a high strike rate, which is like 150 is a bare minimum for these guys. So Marcus Stoinis is very useful all-rounder, can bowl in multiple stages, he can bat in multiple positions as well. Australia uses him as a loader finisher, but in the BBL he is an opener, so there's that flexibility. Glenn Maxwell is a bit of a question mark because he I don't know which Maxwell shows up. Is it the Punjab Maxwell the UAE Punjab Maxwell or the India Punjab Maxwell? And then there's the RCB Maxwell also, the season one RCB Maxwell and the season two RCB Maxwell. So you do not know with this guy what is up with him. So with him, the good thing is there's no such concept of form. He'll either hit it or he'll get out. So you don't need to worry about his having a bad patch or something. So that he's an X factor, but a bit unreliable. So let's see how Australia deals with him. Mitch Mars has been like resurrected. He has been having his injury issues, but Australia has figured out that this guy is a batter more than a bowler. So they hardly bowl him, and they've given him that number three position as an enforcer, and he's really like looked good in that role since he joined that like last year, I believe. You could see that in the World Cup final as well. He played a brilliant innings to get the cup, right?
Right.
Cameron Gain is the interesting selection where uh, Josh Inglis was there, the backup keeper, and while playing golf, he got injured. So that's a mystery in itself how golf
That's
is
such a
causing so many
believable
injuries.
story, right?
Yeah, the cue apparently broke in his hand, and he
Believable,
can't.
yeah.
And he's a backup keeper also. So yeah, the best thing about this squad is the backup keeper is David Warner. So if something happens to Wade, David Warner is going to keep apparently, which I haven't seen, but apparently he is that that skill set is with him as well. So Cameron Green, a brilliant addition. We could see him in India how he smoked
Yeah.
it out of the ground in his opening position, and he's a very decent bowler also. He'll give you 2 3 overs easily at different stages of the match. So a very good like again that injury just happened, and the way he was being played in every match in the previous series, I could see it was very obvious he's going to come in the squad. The question was who was going to get injured, and now we have the answer. So a good addition. Now let's see if he makes it to the ideal playing 11. So yeah,
Right.
let's discuss that.
Okay, so we have what we think could be Australia's playing 11. Obviously, the batsmen are pretty much what is expected, right? Finch and Warner have been Australia's opening batting combo for a long time. Finch, as Sumit mentioned earlier as well, has been inconsistent, but since he's been consistent for a large stretch in his career, and he's the captain as well, he still gets that benefit of doubt, and he gets to open with Warner. Warner, obviously a legend, right, in T20s and for other formats in that matter. Man of the series
Mhm.
in the last tournament. Expect him here also on true Australian pitches to make a lot of runs, right? And he'll be the anchor who'll hold this entire innings together. Marsh, Maxwell, Stoinis, David, right? If they get the right platform from the openers, I see them going ballistic. Maxwell again could be especially useful against spinners in the middle order, right? Where
Yes,
other
which is a reverse
teams,
sweeping.
especially the subcontinent teams, might try to tie him down with spinners. But if he gets
Mm.
his shots right, he can very well score against them. And then obviously, moving on, we have Wade as well. Wade has become a specialist finisher now. And one thing which will be very interesting to see is if you see Wade's batting dynamics as well, most of his shots are towards the leg side, right? So it will be very interesting to see in this World Cup if bowlers try to target that outside off stump line Yorkers so that he doesn't
Mhm.
get to use his flicks or the deep mid wicket slogs. That will be very interesting to see, and the bowling speaks for itself. Sumit, any thoughts here on Australia's playing 11?
Yes, so Wade, you mentioned a good point that he's a predominantly leg side player. So in fact, in this first match between England, the series that recently concluded, it was a very chaseable target from Australian standards, and England used four fielders on the leg side, and they
Hmm.
kept bowling him like in full balls or a bit short, and he could not get them away. So that's one thing I think teams have noticed, that this guy is predominantly leg side, and he won't play on the offside. So that's going to be his test now, how it goes about. Because even I remember with Bhuvneshwar's over, most of the hits were on the leg side.
Right,
So let's see how he comes up with the plan B.
right.
And the bowlers, yeah, as discussed, I think pretty much the best bowling attack. And the
Hmm.
good thing is they have batting depth also with this, because Pat
Hmm.
Cummins is a dangerous hitter, as we could see in IPL, and
Right.
even in Australian colours, he is a good tonker of the ball at number 8. And Mitchell Stark also gives decent support when required.
Yeah.
So all in all, a very good balanced playing 11. Possible stumbling blocks that I see, major one I see is the 3 to 6. So it is the engine room, it is the strength. But one thing which you would notice is we haven't put Steve Smith in, even though he's a legendary cricketer. But as of now, I think he's out of favor. And the only position I see where Steve Smith can play is for Maxwell. So as I said, it depends which Maxwell turns up for the World Cup. And what Australia might notice is that they have all these hitters, right? But they don't have any circuit breakers. In case there are early wickets going down, say Finch goes early, Warner goes early, Marsh goes early, then you cannot go with the gung ho approach. You need somebody who will take the singles, settle things down, and then start hitting.
Hmm.
That's where I think Maxwell, Stoinis, and David might struggle. They always need a base to start their explosions from. So maybe if that happens early in the tournament, Australia try to remediate and get Smith in, or they can have actually a very nice approach with they used in recent series, that you get Finch at 4, because anyways he's not scoring so many runs with the new ball. He keeps getting out with the incoming ball, right? So you keep him at 4, save him from the new ball. He's a decent runner. He's a good player against spin actually, so he can tonk the spinners. Get Green to open as you did all this while, and you can get a very good start. Plus, you get a very quality all rounder as well. So you replace Maxwell and play Green, you still get a all rounder only. You do not lose out on extra bowling option, because as you can see, Australia has four bowlers plus Stoinis and Maxwell, and Marsh maybe one over. So I that's one possibility I see, which they might see some trouble going in the group stage if they do not if they have that issue of collapses and they do not have somebody stabilizing. They might go with the option of getting Smith in at 4, or they get Finch at 4 and put Green at the top. So yeah, Sujay, anything else you
Uh,
see with this strong lineup? as an issue?
No, Sumit. I think more or less this lineup is pretty perfect, right? They've got all their bases covered. But the
Hmm.
only thing is the call that the team management will take. I think that is one thing where, neither I nor you nor anybody can be sure. Let's
Yeah,
say Australia loses the first game, hypothetically, against New Zealand, right?
yeah, against New
Which
Zealand.
is
Hmm.
tomorrow. In that
Hmm.
case, and let's say they win against the easier teams, but then almost have a knockout situation with England later, let's say in the tournament. Will they take the
Yeah.
brave call if Finch or Maxwell are not performing at that point of time
Hmm.
to drop them and bring in Green? Because they have expressed a lot of confidence in Maxwell. Even if you see their,
Hmm. Yeah.
pre-tournament conferences, they're saying that they'll back Maxwell because he's that X factor
Yeah.
player
Yeah.
and he can change the game in a jiffy, right? Which is true. He can change the game in a matter of 2 3 overs. But will they be brave
Yeah.
enough to take that call? That is something that needs to be seen. If Maxwell and Finch continue to struggle.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think they can drop Finch. Obviously, he's the captain, and it's very bad for the team morale. But Maxwell definitely. Swords will be out for him if he, fails in 2 3 games consecutively. And yeah, I then Smith will become important for this team. So they have enough hitting power. There's Warner. We're forgetting Warner, who's a legend.
Right.
So Warner can also do that anchor role, and he's a brilliant anchor. He bats at 150 when he's anchoring, and
Right.
when he's hitting, he's 200. So
Right.
he can do that also.
Mm,
So it's difficult to find issues with this squad actually. So me and Sujay
right.
are overthinking it, trying to see where they can falter, because
Right.
obviously we know who we support. So,
Right.
but in the end, for me, they are the clear favorites. It's
Yeah.
home conditions, and they have got all the explosive power that's required in a T20 setup. So for me, it's
Y-
let's hope we
y-
don't face them in the semis and we face them directly in the finals.
Yeah.
If it has to be like that, so yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I don't see Australia stumbling before the finals at least. Sure, short semi-finalist, and I don't even see which team might beat them in the semi-final, right?
Hmm.
Because they're so well-rounded. That ammunition that they have right now in the bowling and the batting as well is exemplary. So sure shot finalist for me.
Hmm.
But on their day. You never know in cricket, right? Couple of
Yeah.
overs go against them, they might be beaten, but they're looking pretty good for this tournament.
So yeah, that's pretty much it from our side for the analysis of the Australian squad. And please let us know your comments through your comments and opinions and feedback. How do you rate Australia's chances? And next video we'll be taking on the Kiwis, because that's the first match Australia has. So we'll preview New Zealand first, and after that we'll be previewing the other favorites we feel for the cup, which is England. So yeah, Sujay, anything else you want to add?
No, so I think we've covered all the points, Sumit. Let's see how this Australian team progresses, and let's see which team will give them a good run for their money. So that will be very interesting. And so, folks, we'll see you again soon, and look forward to our next video. And as usual, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. See you,
Okay.
folks. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.